Any thoughts, comments, questions?
Well, I guess I have an eminently practical question following up for this discussion.
By the way, Paul Yowell, our predecessor as a co-convener of the jurisprudence discussion.
A lot of us would like to teach jurisprudence one day, and Timothy, I was interested by the fact that you mentioned that there had been a vote on this recently in Oxford. And just, what do you think we can do as philosophers of law to ensure that jurisprudence will be taught where it is, and perhaps to spread where it's not? And particularly in North America, it's not taught as commonly as it is here in the UK. Yeah, just if you have any thoughts along those eminently practical lines.
Oh, write good stuff that lawyers might read. What else? There's not a lot you can do to academic culture on as large a scale as the scale it takes in the United States of America. Right? And if you write something good, it's worth doing, and maybe somebody will read it. And then if somebody reads it, maybe they will think that they should get their students to read it. It might make a difference. Probably won't. I don't know. Does anybody have any ideas for cultural engineering in American legal academics? Maybe John does, because he's involved more, and Leslie. Les, do you know how to affect the culture of American legal academics?
Well, I came back here. It seemed to be the obvious place in this era.
I mean, it's difficult. The United States is a difficult case, isn't it? Because American law students have been through often a humanities education. Some of them have doctorates in economics or philosophy already. The law school culture is not there to duplicate that. Most law schools don't want to invest hard-earned dollars in hiring even one straight philosopher of law. A good number want to invest hard-earned dollars in hiring not more than one philosopher of law. That's hard, but it's hard to get it to go any further. But it's interesting. I mean, the thing is that in another way, the United States and its law school is a very hospitable place. I mean, everybody's a theorist in a way, and there's a certain openness to boundary crossing in American law schools that reflects the fact that the United States doesn't have a unified legal system, and many of its law schools are not teaching the law of any particular place. Yale Law School, where I've worked, doesn't teach the law of Connecticut. That would immediately cause a drop-off in its application. It teaches something called national American law, which doesn't exist. So what substitutes for that is fascinating discussion in various different interdisciplinary grooves. And so there are lots of people who work in that particular law school at a sort of law and policy interface, which is very interesting because they have information which they can pass on to me, so I have none which I can give them back. But they listen patiently all the same. And at the University of Texas, where Les and I both spent some time, is a place with a really polymathic culture as well. So, I think we shouldn't be so gloomy about that. The fact that there's not the tendency to invest in people who self-identify as specialists doesn't mean that there isn't, at the same time, a marvelous opportunity to do the work.
And I might add a piece of advice, actually. Make yourself really expert at teaching something that they want taught.
Right.
Because there are careers. And then you're in and they're stuck with you.
If anybody wants to work in this country, the key is to work in philosophy of law and land law since 1925. Then they'll be queuing up to hire you. And you'll be able to write in the philosophy of law, but mostly you'll teach land law.
I got a job in 1999, and legal philosophy wasn't a big credential for getting a job. And I got a job because I convinced a college that I could get their undergraduates through finals. That's Oxford jobs, right? And there's some parallel requirements in other institutions in this country and other countries, not just the States, but France or Australia.